How about a Coppola quick facts?
Before Nicolas Cage was cast, Dennis Hopper suggested that John Dahl should consider Chris Christopherson, a good friend of Hopper from that he worked with in The Last Movie. That was the name of the movie. The Last Movie. That one movie, remember?
Why would that be the title?
Christopherson was at a low point in his career at the time, mainly appearing as the lead in made-for-TV movies, but he had a packed schedule and declined without even reading the script. I think I understand why Chris Christopherson's career was at a low point.
Yeah.
That would have.
I don't think this would have
really
helped
weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like I mean, he would have been fine, I guess, but like it would have been
okay.
weird. More like a grizzled cowboy type of
It would have felt even more like a Western.
Yeah, definitely.
Than it did, which was pretty well. It felt pretty well close to a Western.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it would have changed that vibe to be even more Western-esque.
He would have sang a song with Dwight Yoakam at some point. It's so funny that Dwight Yoakam is just randomly in here, and
Yeah.
he's since gone on to be kind
He's
of
done
more
other
of a-
acting.
Yeah,
Stuff,
he's done a lot like bigger roles than this, but I guess this was pretty early on when he was actually like still a country star. Mm-hmm. Like he's mostly just playing his hits now when he goes out and does shows. I don't know if you guys watched what was that last Clint Eastwood movie?
I didn't watch it.
Cry Macho.
Cry Macho, yeah.
There's this scene where Dwight Yoakam and Clint Eastwood are talking back and forth, and Dwight Yoakam is like 70 years old, and Clint Eastwood is like 90, and it's like Clint Eastwood is like, "I'm gonna punch you in the mouth if you talk about me like that again," or something like that. And it's like a stiff breeze could blow through this room and knock both of these guys over.
Yeah.
I'm just not buying it. Nicolas Cage largely took the part due to the recommendations of his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, who is a outspoken fan of John Dahl's first film, Kill Me Again, with Val Kilmer, which I have never heard of. Is it just like all of John Dahl's movies just get...
They're all underrated movies that no one's ever watched.
Maybe.
Or unheard of, or heard of.
Well, obviously,
I've never heard of that movie.
Insider favorite, apparently.
Yeah.
His uncle.
A director's director.
Yeah, director. There you go, yeah.
It always seems that way where it's like something super obscure is what the artsy
The filmmakers really like.
filmmakers really love, you know.
Yeah.
Like Nicolas Cage's obsession with German noir.
Yeah. I just think it's funny, too, that after working with him on Peggy Sue Got Married, he was like, "Oh, yeah, you should work with my nephew. He's great."
He might
He'll be
try
awesome.
and do a Gumby thing, but, you know, just roll with it.
Make him the leading role. It'll be awesome.
Just don't watch this film him and his brother are making called Deadfall. Just don't watch that. Watch it after. Watch it after you guys shoot the film.
Yeah, you know, you'll appreciate the nuances of his performance.
I did think about Deadfall at the end of this movie.
Me too.
The money. All he had left was the memories.
Well, not him.
They're worth more than any score.
I guess he had like $5,000.
He had the monies.
He did, yeah.
He left her with the memories. And the baby.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh my God, we're gonna get Red Rock West 2, just like Lord of War 2.
What a face off to.
30-year-old son.
Grown up AIDS baby. Nicolas Cage really wanted to do this movie, but director John Dahl and his brother Rick wanted to start shooting in September of 1991, and Cage would not be available until later that December. But eventually Dahl accommodated and reworked the shooting schedule for Cage, which is, I mean, that's a huge thing to be like, well, can't be Chris Christopherson, but let's get Cage in here, and I'll delay shooting for, 3 months?
Yeah.
It's like you can't even shoot other stuff much because he's in pretty much every scene. So
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, there's very little they could have shot without Cage on set. Yeah.
Originally, director John Dahl and Dennis Hopper wanted Dennis Hopper to play Wayne, the bartender. But Hopper insisted on playing Lyle from Dallas. Hopper eventually convinced the producers, who were thrilled with the results, but probably not thrilled with the box office after.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like Dennis Hopper has played this character like 30 different times.
Dennis Hopper really just wanted to play Dennis Hopper. And the character that most matched that was Lyle from Dallas.
I kind of wish he would have played Wayne instead. I think it would have been. I think it would have been better because it just kept pulling me out of the film. I was like, he's just being himself in every.
He's just he's just Dennis Hopper,
Which
is great. Right. But I feel like J.T. Walsh really brought a grounded sense to Wayne's character. I think he could have been very menacing and scary as Lyle from Dallas, but like, I don't know if I would have bought him being the like kind of grounded character, Dennis Hopper being the grounded character against J.T. Walsh's maniac.
Yep. Yeah, like really, this is the guy that was able to lie low in some town with all this money.
This over the top guy, this big personality.
Yeah. Don't piss on the seat.
It's unlucky.
It's unlucky. Costume designer Terry Dresbach bought a lot of Western attire for the film and was absolutely thrilled when Dennis Hopper chose the cheesy-looking black suit that he wears in the film, because she was able to buy about 17 of them for the cost of $175.
It did look like something that it did remind me of, like, this is what a poor cowboy would buy, thinking that this is what rich cowboys wear. And I was like, I wonder if that's intentional.
He's like going for this is what a cowboy hitman would look like. $175 for 17 suits.
$10 a pop.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Small portions of this Wyoming film were shot on location in Montana, which is where writer and director John Dahl and his brother are from. But the majority of the scenes are shot in Arizona, which is much more famous for having red rocks than Wyoming. I don't believe that there is a Red Rock, Wyoming. I feel like I looked it up and it was fictional just for this film. The film was originally set to be released by Triumph Pictures, but after the film initially bombed at the box office, the company did not see this film as a moneymaker and backed out of its release agreement. I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, that's seems like something you'd want to put down in the contract.
Yeah, no backing out.
Yeah,
after the box office comes in. I mean, it's a gamble making a film.
Yeah,
and you basically were like, I didn't like the cards that I got, so I'm just gonna back off the table and walk away. The film would sit on the shelf for almost a year and eventually came to an agreement with Columbia TriStar Home Video for the video and cable rights. Then a movie theater owner in San Francisco asked for the film to be shown in his theater, and Columbia TriStar agreed, and it actually made a ton of money before appearing on cable. I think that's where most of the box office came from, was this one
showing
in San Francisco.
Wow.
The film would eventually be shown at the 1993 Toronto Film Festival, where it received great reviews and still did not get a distribution deal with any major studio, but still was very successful, supposedly, which this fact kind of flies in the face of it being a $2.5 million box office bomb. This film was one of the most successful independent films to be released in the 1990s, and this was due because the film was doing so well at small second-run movie theaters in cities like San Francisco and New York City, which were selling out their screenings despite the fact that the film was already on home video and appearing on cable.
Dang.
Even when the theaters were selling out, People who couldn't get into the screenings went to their local video store to rent the film or watch it on cable when it was shown. The film's success still surprised even director John Dahl. That's not a fucking sentence. The film's success still Anyways, John Dahl was really happy that it made money.
Wow.
Even though it
Let's imagine if it had
wide.
actually gotten a wide theatrical release. Like,
I feel like it would have done well.
went pretty well.
Yeah, I feel
Like it was making that much money in the most obtuse way possible, and people were going out of their way to try and see it in these little indie theaters and stuff, and then go rent it. It definitely would have made more than $5 million if you put it out on
kind of like
wide
Pig
release.
was like, it got really great reviews, and then suddenly it was in a bunch of theaters, and it did make some money. I don't think it was initially intended to make very much money. I think they expected it was going to make like $250,000 or something like that in a
and then
limited
sell it to
release.
streaming or something.
Yeah.
But then because of the reviews, they put it out in theaters, and it made like $3.5 million or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel
Word
like,
of mouth.
I feel like this movie was perfect for the time it came out. It reminds me so much of those early 90s movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked that they didn't put it out in a wider release, especially after it had all this ground momentum on a smaller scale.
How did Wild at Heart do again?
Not
Like
great.
box office wise?
Yeah.
Because I gotta think it was, it would at least make that much.
I feel like it was like 14 million. I could look it up real quick. But yeah, I feel like these kind of art house movies, even back then, didn't make tons of money. Wild at Heart, 14.6 million. I feel like it had a budget of about the same as this, like 7 million or something.
Could have been a producer situation where they were just trying to bury it and then get a write off of their investment and not release it. But it's a shame. I think if they put it out, maybe we'd be living in a world where this was available to view on streaming platforms, and you could buy a copy of it and actually watch it, and most people would actually know what it is.
Yeah. It's super sad.